my biggest bet and trope with the Lakers, honestly, is Luka. Uh, Luka in himself is their greatest weapon, but he's also
Their greatest weakness.
can be their greatest detriment
Yeah.
because I was listening to Jay Will earlier today, and I know what you said that the Luka that we got from Dallas isn't the Luka that was in Dallas. But what if it is? What if he doesn't catch on what LeBron is putting out, and this is just the Luka that we get? I would love to see Luka drop 10, 15 pounds. He ain't got to be the defensive star. He never will be. But like they say, at least be interested in defense.
Yeah.
Communicate on defense. Move your doggone feet,
Don't
my
be a
boy.
cone.
Because you cannot be a cone. That is not you. You in the league now, my boy. You've been a pro for over a decade at this point. You know what good defense look like. Don't tell me
Mm-hmm.
otherwise. We've seen you dunking on people. We've seen some explosiveness out of you.
Yeah.
Revert to that just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to be prime Durant and LeBron out here, but show us something. If that brings you down to 27 a game, cool. Like you said, what you build on the outside, that will help you in the future. But
Mm-hmm.
until we get that more conditioned Luka, it kind of scares you just a little bit about what Dallas put out there into the world.
I think for Luca, in order for that to happen, I think JJ Redick is the perfect coach to make this happen, right? Because from what we know
Might
about
be, yeah.
JJ's,
He said it in his press conference. He inadvertently called Luka out in
yeah.
his press conference for
So
sure.
his
He did,
past,
yeah.
his type of training, his type of work ethic, right? The reason why JJ retired wasn't because he couldn't do it; it was just because he didn't want to do the off season training that he had always done. My take on that is he's going to be able to implement that with the Lakers because think about it, the Lakers, as long as we've known them, they've been relatively, a relaxed organization. They're, the superstars technically run the organization and push the thing forward. The Mavericks kind of the same situation. The superstars or the stars push it forward. Let's just say JJ brings more of a mentality like Van Gundy, or brings in a more mentality like what we saw with the Miami Heat in terms of you're gonna need to be doing X, Y, and Z for you to be playing on this team for us to move forward as an overall organization and franchise. Take complete control of that, and if you get your main guy Luca to buy in, to train, to get better, right, based off of the training program that you create, you might end up turning the Lakers into something more formidable than what we've ever seen before because now you have a disciplined franchise that's not just getting guys because they're stars, but getting guys because they actually fit the program that they have set in stone. Because let's be honest, the only true nature of that kept the Lakers in check was Kobe during his time frame. Before Magic, it was what Kareem, who was doing the exact same thing, keeping the team in check. Their type of you know situation. So I think the Lakers, they got an opportunity here to really change what we decide to see what the franchise actually really is. Instead of just being a carefree franchise, no, we have a legitimate direction, and we can make it there whether we have Luca or we get another superstar. They'll fall into the same program, and we can get back to where we need to get to, regardless of who's in charge.
I
Yeah.
think I think what's interesting about what you just said, Pernell, was it's very true. It's very true. As somebody who watches the Lakers pretty much damn near every game, um, I the only time where I felt the Lakers adapted that dog mentality was this year and 2020. The years in between 2021, 2022, 23, 2024, a lot of times based off of what you said, Pernell, the team adapts the personality of their superstars. We had Anthony Davis a lot. We had Anthony Davis through those times, right? Anthony Davis is inconsistent when it comes down to motor and energy. He's lackadaisical sometimes, but then sometimes he'll give you 40, 45, 50.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and LeBron James, an aging LeBron James, right, gives you the same thing because he's 48. You know what I'm saying? And so, because of that, you have your role players who kind of adapt that same personality because these are what your superstars are doing. They're not high motor athletes anymore, right? Anthony Davis was always inconsistent. Maybe the Pelicans years is a different story because he was younger, etc. But like on the Lakers, from what I've noticed, he's not as consistent when it comes down to that high energy motor, right? And then you have an aging LeBron James that's going to trickle down to the energy of everybody else as far as the role players, especially if they're not two-way players.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not able to give you that high energy on the defensive end and the offensive end because that was just never in their skill set in the NBA to start with, right? So all of that it just radiates, and it's just an energy that trickles down everywhere, unfortunately. And so from 2021 all the way up to 2025 when Anthony Davis gets traded, that's essentially what we had. We had a low energy, inconsistent Laker team that out of 1 year didn't even make the playoffs. Now, with the implementation of JJ Redick, you have JJ Redick that was a passionate, high energy coach and was respected amongst the locker room because he's been in the NBA for 15 years already, and he already has X's and O's down. So, and on top of that, he's LeBron James. I mean, people don't want to say it, but he's LeBron James' pick as far as the coach, and LeBron James is a superstar. You know what I'm saying, of the Lakers. So, everybody is going to rally behind JJ Redick, regardless. Unfortunately, I think, and this is what I really believe in my heart, bro, I think because he did what he did, for the entirety of that half in game 4, he lost the locker room just briefly, and then on top of that, the Lakers were probably looking ahead to an uphill battle and an uphill climb going down 3-1 at home. And so they were like, oh, nah, bro, I ain't really trying to do this. Because on top of that, it's like what's crazy about it is that if you look forward in the games, 15 games out of 30 is what they would have had to play had they win that series. Had they have won that series, they would have had to play 15 games out of 30 days going forward. You know what I'm saying? And they in their heads, they're thinking they're going to have this done in 6 or maybe even 5. Mm-hmm. And the fact that wasn't able to happen, they're like, oh, bruh. And on top of that, we got a rookie head coach who just played our starting 5 for the entirety of the quarter, or for the entirety of the half. Oh, yeah, nah. And when you got that's in their heads at the beginning of game 5, it showed.